Good morning, students. In continuation with the previous class of phrases and clauses, today we will continue clauses. So let's start. See, what is a clause? A clause is a group of words that contains a verb and a subject of its own. Remember, in phrases I told you that a phrase is a group of words that does not make complete sense and it does not have a subject and a finite verb of its own. Just like that, in clause, what happens? Clause is a group of words that make complete sense and it has a subject and a verb of its own, and it can stand by itself, which means that it does not need anything to complete it. Like phrase gave us an incomplete meaning, clause gives us a complete meaning. A sentence, when we say a sentence can also be a main clause. Okay, now see, look at the examples. It is the truth that girls and boys are equal. The girl who is wearing the blue dress is my sister. The doctor arrived after we called him several times. Now see all these sentences. It is the truth that girls and boys are equal. All the words which are there in bold letters, they are all clauses. Okay, all these group of words that are there in bold letters are the clauses. Okay, now clauses can be dependent or it can be independent. Fine. Now, what is dependent clause and what is independent clause? As the name suggests, dependent clause is the one part of the clause which depends on the other clause, and independent means which can stand on its own, which can exist on its own. Now see the example which is given. Rama was taking photos and Gitanjali was painting. Now see, Rama was taking photos is one clause, Gitanjali was painting is another clause. Now Rama was taking photos. If I just put a full stop here, will the sentence be complete? Yes, it definitely will be complete. Rama was taking photos, full stop, sentence complete, no problem at all. Gitanjali was painting, full stop, sentence complete, no problem at all. So this is the independent clause, means it does not depend on anything. Okay, it does not need anything to complete itself. बीच में and लगा है, the word and, the conjunction and, okay, is joining these two main clauses, is joining these two independent clauses. Okay, independent clause जो है उसी को मेन क्लॉज कहते हैं. मेन क्लॉज एंड इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज आर द टू नेम्स ऑफ द सेम थिंग. ओके, सो Rama was taking photos and Gitanjali was painting, and if we remove the coordinating conjunction and, both these clauses are complete in itself and hence they are called independent clauses or main clauses. Fine. Now main clauses, two or more main clauses are joined by few conjunctions, and what are those? One is the set of coordinating conjunctions. I told you in the class coordinating conjunctions, remember, fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Remember I told you fanboys, see it is given in the book also, main clauses are usually joined by coordinating conjunctions like and, but, or, for, nor, yet, and so. So these coordinating conjunctions we can like abbreviate them as fanboys, or by correlative conjunctions like either, or, neither, nor. Remember correlative conjunctions also I told you, more than one word conjunctions, right? So they are called such clauses, main clauses, are joined by either coordinating conjunctions or correlative conjunctions, and they form compound sentences. Now we will study the types of sentences. There I will tell you that what are compound sentences and others. Okay, so that was about the independent clause or the main clause. Now comes the dependent clause or the subordinate clause. Now what is a dependent clause or a subordinate clause? There are certain clauses, there are some clauses which cannot make complete sense and they depend on the main clause to complete the sentence. Dependent मतलब क्या? किसी चीज़ पे निर्भर होना, right? We are dependent on our parents, right? So similarly the dependent clause is like depending upon the independent clause. Dependent clause को और क्या बोलते हैं हम? Subordinate clause. So we know independent clause or main clause, dependent clause or subordinate clause. Subordinate कौन होता है? जो आपसे एक पोस्ट नीचे होता है, right? We call that person a subordinate, right? So similarly independent clause जो है, that is the main clause, वो head है, boss है, और जो dependent clause है वो subordinate है. ठीक है? So clauses that cannot make complete sense on their own and depend on the main clause to make their meaning complete are called dependent or subordinate clause. Now see the example, you are already a champion in my eyes whether you win the competition or not. Now see here, you are already a champion in my eyes in the is the independent clause, okay, whereas whether you win the competition or not is the dependent clause, okay. Now how do we get to know that what are like independent clause? We know that we'll see for coordinating conjunctions or correlative conjunctions, but how do we find out dependent clauses or subordinate clauses? We find them out by when like such clauses are mostly introduced in the sentence. वो sentence में start कैसे होते हैं? By subordinating conjunctions. So coordinating conjunction and correlative conjunctions are used for main clauses, whereas subordinating conjunctions like because, although, though, when and before or by relative pronouns like that, which, who, whom and whose, ये सारे क्या इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं सेंटेंस में? ये सारे इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं हमारा subordinate clause or the dependent clause. ठीक है, I hope this much is clear. I'll send the exercises in the PDF, don't worry. Next we have the types of clauses. Now see, we have studied the types of phrases. Same are the types of clauses, okay? Noun clause, adverb clause and adjective clause. So first of all, noun clause. What is a noun clause? They are clauses which function as nouns in the sentence. Just like noun phrases were phrases which functions as nouns in the sentence, similarly noun clauses वो clause होते हैं जो sentence में they function as the noun, right? Noun phrases, they are phrases which function as a noun. Noun clauses, they are clauses which function as a noun. Now how do we know that how a noun clause is like this part of the sentence is a noun clause? How will we know it? See, noun clauses, see, it is written in the grammar bite. Mark it as important and learn it, okay? Noun clauses are usually introduced by that, if, why, how, what, whatever and whatever words are written there, okay? So noun clauses sentence में कैसे introduce होते हैं? ये सारे words use करके, by, why, how, if, what, whatever, when, where, whether, which, whichever, who, whoever, whom and whoever. So ये सारे जहाँ से sentence में start होता है वहाँ से the noun clause starts. Very simple. If you learn the grammar bite, you will be able to do it very easily. Fine. Then next is adjective clauses. Now what are adjective clauses? Adjective clauses, they perform the function of adjectives in the sentence. Yes, adjective phrases, they were phrases which used to function as adjectives. Now adjective clauses, they are clauses which function as the adjectives in the sentence, okay? Now again, mark the grammar bite. Adjective clauses are preceded by relative pronouns. Preceded means adjective clause के पहले क्या आता है? Relative pronoun. What are relative pronoun? Who, whose, whom, which, that. ये सारे आएंगे. या क्या आएगा? और adverbs. Which adverbs? When and where. So before adjective clauses, we'll always have who, whose, whom, which or that, or when and where, right? So from wherever these words start in the sentence, we get to know that these are adjective clauses, okay? See example, the girl who is wearing a fur coat lives in Shillong. Now see, who is wearing a fur coat? Who से start हुआ है? So who is wearing a fur coat is the adjective clause. Now who is wearing the fur coat? ये किसके बारे में बोला जा रहा है? Girl के बारे में, right? So girl is the noun, right? Girl is a noun, right? And who is wearing a fur coat is describing the girl. So ये क्या हो गया? Adjective clause. I hope this much is clear. Next we have adverb clauses. Now it is again similar to the adverb phrase. Just like an adverb phrase was a phrase which was working as an adverb in the sentence, similarly adverb clauses is a clause that functions as an adverb in the sentence. It does the same work that an adverb does, okay? Now adverb clauses, we have studied the different types of adverbs, right? First of all, what do the adverbs modify in the sentence? Either they modify the verb, or they modify the adjective, or they modify another adverb. So adverb clauses will also do the same thing, okay? Now we have studied the different types of adverb phrases. Similarly, we will study the different types of adverb clauses. We know the different types of adverbs, right? So it will be easy for us. The first type of adverb clauses is adverb clauses of manner. The first type is adverb clauses of manner. Now what do adverbs of manner tell us about how the adverb is describing, right? Similarly, adverb clauses of manner also describe how the action in the main clause is performed. कैसे हो रहा है? How? The question is how. Okay. Now, adverb clauses of manner, they are introduced in the sentence by subordinating conjunctions such as like, as if, etc. Okay. Look at the example. He did as he had been instructed. See, as he had been instructed. So, as he had been instructed, क्या हो गया हमारा adverb clause of manner. How did he do? He did as he was instructed. Okay. Next is adverb clauses of time. Now, how is adverb clauses of, what is adverb clause of time? It tells when the action in the main clause is taking place. Time बताता है when, right? They are introduced in the sentence by subordinating conjunctions which tell us about time, like when, while, before, after, since, as soon as, जैसे ही, मतलब like these are the conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions by which the adverb clauses of time are introduced in the sentences. For example, when the baby saw the colorful ball, it reached out for it. So when did the baby reach out for the colorful ball? When the baby saw the colorful ball. So this becomes the adverb clause of time. ठीक है, time बता रहा है ना, when the baby saw the colorful ball. So it is telling us about the time of the main action, right? So it is adverb clause of time. Next we have adverb clause of place. Now what is adverb clause of place? It describes where the action in the main clause has taken place. Okay, it is used by the conjunctions when, where and wherever. Okay, these are the subordinating conjunctions of place. So adverb clauses of place take these conjunctions. Example, wherever Mary looked, she saw trees and rolling fields, right? So where did Mary saw trees and rolling fields? Wherever Mary looked, right? So this will become the adverb clause of place. Next is adverb clause of reason. Similarly, it will tell us about the reason and it will start in the sentence with because, as, since. Example, he passed with flying colors because he had studied sincerely. So why did he pass with flying colors? Because he had studied sincerely, telling us the reason. So it is adverb clause of reason. Next is adverb clause of result. Now, adverb clause of result क्या होता है? It tells us about the result or the like consequence of the action. कि जो भी एक्शन हमने किया उसका रिजल्ट क्या आया, ठीक है, एंड दैट इज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड इन द सेंटेंस बाय सो दैट और सच दैट. ये सारे जो सबऑर्डिनेटिंग कंजंक्शंस होते हैं ये यूज होते हैं for adverb clauses of result. For example, the rain fell so heavily that the roads got flooded. Okay, so what happened? The rain fell so heavily. कितना हेविली? इतना हेविली कि जो रोड्स थे वो फ्लडेड हो गए. सो इट इज टेलिंग अस अबाउट द कॉन्सिक्वेंस ऑफ द एक्शन कि रेन हुआ तो क्या हुआ. व्हाट हैपेंड व्हेन द रेन फेल हेविली? It fell so heavily that the roads got flooded. Next is the dogs barked so loudly that the entire neighborhood woke up. See here, how loudly did the dog bark and what happened when the dog barked so loudly? It barked so loudly that the entire neighborhood woke up. तो उस डॉग के बार्क करने का रिजल्ट क्या हुआ? पूरी नेबरहुड जो है दैट वोक अप. Similarly, next is adverb clauses of comparison. Now, what, like as the name suggests, it's very easy. What do adverb clauses of comparison show? They show a comparison between two nouns or pronouns. And which conjunctions do they use? They use conjunctions like than, as, so as. Similarly, such conjunctions are used to draw adverb clauses of comparison. Example, I earn more than my cousin does. So see, you can see there is a comparison between me and my cousin. Now next is adverb clauses of concession. Now what is adverb clause of concession? Here the two actions are opposite, means the action in the main clause is opposite to the action in the subordinate clause. Fine. जो action main clause में हो रहा है उसका opposite action हो रहा होता है subordinate clause में. That is called adverb clause of concession. Okay. See, although the sun was up, there was darkness all around. You can see sun was up means there should be light, but there was darkness. So these are two opposite things happening, right? So adverb clause of concession sentence में कैसे introduce होता है? They are introduced in the sentences by subordinating conjunctions like although, though, even if, even though. ये सारे conjunctions use करके adverb clauses of concession introduce होता है sentence में. Next is adverb clauses of condition. Now, as the name suggests, it explains on what condition the action is taking place, on what is the condition on which the action is taking place, right? They are introduced in the sentence using subordinate conjunctions like if, unless, in case, and provided that. These conjunctions are used to introduce adverb clauses of condition in the sentence. Example, if it rains, we will have to return home early. Now see, if it rains, what is the condition? If it starts raining, then what will we have to do? We will have to return home early. So you can see this is the condition, right? If it rains. So if it rains is the condition on which the action will occur. कि अगर बारिश होती है तो हमें घर जल्दी जाना पड़ेगा, right? So I hope this much is clear. It was pretty easy. I will be sending you the PDF along with this, okay? So you can see the PDF and mark the answers in your book. Thank you, students. Do your work and have a great time ahead.